You cannot wish for a strong character and an easy life. Each is the price of the other. What if what you're going through isn't hard? What if you're just sensitive?
I think that most of us can look back on our lives to 10 years ago and think about the problems that we were dealing with then and think about how much of a pittance and how small those problems were compared to the problems that we deal with today. At least that's how I probably feel. Maybe you feel the same way. And so I then think, okay, well, if I feel that way about the problems that I had 10 years ago, then 10 years from now, Alex will look back at the problems that I'm dealing with today and feel the same way. And so if he feels that way then about the problems that I have now, then the only difference is the perspective that he has that I don't have. And so I might just be a sensitive little pansy, and maybe these aren't problems at all. Maybe these are just facts of life and I need to habituate to them. Because I remember my first lawsuit, right? Because it's like when you're in business long enough, you make enough money, you're just going to get sued. It is what it is. And I was listening to Elon Musk talk about this. And at any given time, Tesla has hundreds of lawsuits at any, like just they have massive departments of legal just for all the different things that are going on. And it was thinking that a requisite for success is a problem. Like you cannot become the wealthiest man in the world and not get sued. Like getting sued is an indicator that you're actually is a requisite for being there. There's no person has been there without this. And so reframing what I used to consider a problem as a point of evidence that I am on the path that I originally chose.
I remember the first time that I ever tried to incline chest press 20 kilos. And as I got it up, this is in the Center for Sporting Excellence in Newcastle Gym. And as I got it up there, I didn't have the tricep strength to be able to keep it. And I watched this thing slowly come down toward my face. And it just landed on my nose. And I like sort of bailed it out off my nose.
Yeah.
And now it's not even the warm up to the warm up to the warm up set. So the problem is that we don't have very good memory. We don't have theory of mind for ourselves, for a previous version of ourselves. I've always thought that it would be such an amazing tool. Maybe Neuralink can do it at some point in future. You know how people want to go back in time and they want to see a different place? I would love to go back in time in my own mind and remember the texture of my own existence and what were the things that I thought about. I've told this story before, but it's pretty illustrative. Day One is a journal that you can use for your phone. It's pretty good. And for me, it's big shit. It's like big things are happening. If I open Day One, some fucking shit's going down. And breakups and illnesses and being worried about people dying or whatever the fuck. I once opened it to write down that the MC in room 2, the R&B room of our Saturday night club night, had told me that he was leaving to go to a competitor event 15 miles away. And I remember thinking that it was so salient to me that it deserved to go in along with breakups and do I go on this reality TV show or do I not? Because I was adamant that that would be the beginning of the end, because the only reason the Asian Society came down was because they liked this particular MC. And if he went, then Asian Soc would stop coming. And if Asian stopped coming, then that would mean this. And then the whole business would go and I'd be dead. But I don't think that anymore. And there was one time where I hadn't worked our events for quite a while, and a DJ that used to work for us came through, and he thought that he'd wind me up by saying 3 minutes before we opened that something was up with one of the CDJs. Something's up with one of the CDJs a couple of minutes before you open. Things are bad because there's usually not a spare, and it means that the night's going to be delayed or whatever, and there was lots of people outside waiting to come in or whatever it might be. And he was expecting a response from a previous version of me, which would have been the one that would have gone into Day One and typed about the fact that the CDJ hadn't worked. And I just said, oh, okay, well, I don't know, we'll fix it. And he called out, broke the fourth wall and said, oh, it's not broken at all. Like, I just thought that I'd wind you up, but you didn't play the game. I'm like, oh, right. It's the, like, you've grown or you've changed thing.
Yeah. He was don't punk the game.
Yes, don't punk the game.
Yeah. I think the point is to always punk the game as many times as you possibly can, especially if you're the one getting the game played on you by yourself.
Alex, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on. What's next? What can people expect from you next few months?
Well, all my effort is in the Skool Games. So I mean, I can talk about them. I can not talk about them. Yeah. So I just made the biggest investment in my life. I'm now co-owner of Skool.com. It's a platform where you can build what you want to build, learn what you want to learn, and schools will give you the tools, the community, and the education to help you. And so we've actually created a whole thing where people can start all this stuff for free. Because I believe my whole platform has been education. That's what I believe in. I think the education system is broken, and teachers don't get paid or given the resources to actually teach students. And they're supposed to teach tests that they know don't help students. Students get educated on stuff that doesn't matter in the real world, and they go into mountains of debt for a piece of paper that doesn't make them anything to pay off the debt that they're in for the rest of their lives. And I hate all of it, which is why we started making the content that we do. And so this is one big investment that I'm doing to try and make my small dent towards helping fix that. And I obviously talk about business. That's what I know. Okay. But one person can't do that. Like, I can't change. I mean, I can try, but like, I don't think one person's going to change the world. And so, I wanted to invest in a platform that would help other people do that for one another. And so whether it's like, how to paint and you want to teach people to paint, how to fix Hondas and you want to teach people to do that. Like, there are so many more useful skills that we can trade with one another. And I think Ben Franklin said, there's no more noble a deed than to help another know more, to educate. And I wholeheartely believe that. And so, I mean, that's what I'm investing my dollars and my time into. And so, yeah, that's like my whole next year.